Today, I'm going to be talking to you guys about sea moss. For those who are not familiar with sea moss, it's a superfood that you should be including in your diet regimen if you're a health conscious person. So what is sea moss? It's not actually a moss, it's a seaweed, and it's the most complex and largest marine algae. There are over 100 different types of species of sea moss, but only two are popular when it comes to food consumption. That's sea moss from the Caribbeans and those warmer temperature places, that's known as Gossyularia. And then there's Irish moss, known as Chondrus crispus, that comes from the Atlantic coast of Europe and North America and those cooler temperature places. Let's get into some misconceptions about sea moss. It's become very, very popular because of the health benefits. It supposedly has 92 minerals out of the 102 minerals the body is made out of. Scientifically, I can't say that's 100% fact. Some dispute it having 92 minerals, but one thing for sure that everybody agree on is that it's very, very high in key minerals that the body needs. Some of the nutrients contained in sea moss is vitamin B2, vitamin B12, magnesium, chromium, zinc. It builds a very healthy immune system for the body. It's good for your skin, for your hair. It's a rich source of fiber, so it's good for your gut, good for cholesterol and heart health. But you should not consume too much on a daily basis because you want to watch your iodine and heavy metals intake. So limit yourself to 2 tablespoons per day. Another thing you want to watch out for is pool grown or farmed sea moss. People in the sea moss community call that fake sea moss. And it's not necessarily fake, but it doesn't come from its natural habitat. It comes from farming and being grown in a pool, making it mineral deficient. And not to knock Caribbean sea moss, because I've had Caribbean sea moss and it was excellent. But them boys over there, they notorious for selling pool grown farmed sea moss. And the reason they're doing that is because Caribbean sea moss, Gossyularia, is the most common and widely used and accessible sea moss. That's the sea moss most companies and people sell. So, they're farming and pooling it, trying to keep up with the demand. So, they're adding extra stuff to it to try to make it grow faster or whatnot. So that's not what you want. You want wild crafted moss that comes from off the rock in the ocean. You don't want no pool grown moss. That's not what you want. It's fugazi. One way you could tell that you got pool grown sea moss if you open up the package that it came in and you see moist residue, that's a bad sign. If you open up the package and it's overly salty and you can just see salt crystals falling off, that's a bad sign. If you soak it in your water and it overly expands, that's a bad sign. Somebody then sold you some pool grown sea moss. That's not what you want. Wild crafted, straight off the rock. That's what we want. Some Caribbean sea moss does come purple, but don't get that confused with Irish sea moss, Chondrus crispus, and that's what I have. And if you're a follower of Dr. Sebi, who made sea moss back popular in most recent times, when he's referencing sea moss, he's talking about Chondrus crispus, Irish sea moss. To be honest, there's not much difference between Caribbean Gossyularian sea moss versus North Atlantic Chondrus crispus, Irish sea moss. But Chondrus crispus is considered the Rolls Royce of sea moss. And that's because it's rare. It's not as easy to get as Caribbean sea moss. It's not as easy duplicated and pooled and farmed as Caribbean sea moss. It comes from a cooler climate place, giving it a slightly different health profile. Studies show that Chondrus crispus really helps you out with building your immune and heart health versus Caribbean sea moss. It helps you out with your digestive system and it's high in antioxidants, and that's perfect and that's fine. Like I said, I don't want to seem like I'm knocking Caribbean sea moss, but just make sure it's the real deal. But like I say, Chondrus crispus, that's the sea moss Dr. Sebi is talking about when he's mentioning his alkaline diet and the things you should include in that diet. So with that being said, I'm gonna show you how I make me some Irish sea moss gel and some Irish sea moss pills. This 1 pound of sea moss, I took a little bit of it out, rinse it out about 3 or 4 times. You know, make sure you get all the debris out of it. Let it soak overnight. This is what it looks like when it's dry. So I'm gonna let it soak overnight. All right, the next morning, I let my sea moss soak. I let it soak for about 14, 15 hours. You see the lime in there because the sea moss has a very strong ocean smell and taste. So the lime helps with cutting that ocean taste out of the sea moss. And this is what it looked like when it's soaked. All right, we're gonna put it in a blender. And always remember, rinse your sea moss with spring water or filtered water. And when you're blending it, blend it with spring water or filtered water as well. Blend it up real good until it becomes a gel. This is the type of consistency that we are looking for when we are turning the sea moss into a gel. That's perfect. All right, you can store it in your refrigerator up to 3 weeks. This is enough for me and my girl. We're gonna be eating this, and remember, 2 tablespoons per day. You can also put it in a smoothie. I put a tablespoon in a smoothie, just mix it up real good. All right, now this is my dehydrator for my sea moss pills. Just pour a little sea moss on the top cover, put it in the dehydrator, and let it dehydrate the sea moss until it looks like this. And it took a long time for my sea moss to look like that. It took about 8 hours for it to dehydrate. And once you do that, blend it up. This is my capsule filler. Fill in the caps, and boom, there you go. Made me some pills. And I'll probably take those with me because I travel a lot, so I'm gonna use those as I travel. And this is my sea moss water. You can save this water and use it like spray on your hair, spray on your body, and put it in your plants if you have them.